Hi there boys and girls. Right, we haven't got any further with our wheel balance and our arbour because I just haven't had time. But what I have got to do is I put a salt water softener in my house, and it has two drains off it. The first drain is a pumped drain which I've got connected, and the second one is an overflow in case anything was to go wrong with it. It can overflow out of that into the drain. And the slight little issue I've got is I want to redo my kitchen towards the end of spring, summertime this year. So I don't want to go drilling any more holes through the wall unless I have to. So what I've got is, if that's the waste pipe that runs along the wall behind where I put the water softener, at this end of it, at this end comes up, and I've got the pumped waste from the water softener goes into here. But I can't get the overflow one in there because the overflow is lower. So what I want to do is, this is the pipe and fittings off the back of the water softener, and it's, what's that, 21.5 mil. What's the inside of these measure? I've never bothered to check before. No, 21.6. So what I should like to do is I've got a bit of plastic here, what my friend Rob gave me because I haven't got any. Need to bore that out a little bit bigger, so this will slip in the same as it slips into that one. And depth of that is what? So this is just going to be a quick down and dirty job, this. So we need to bore a hole in there big enough for that to fit in, 25 mil deep, which will be the same as them. Will I have enough there to do that? Well, I don't suppose it would matter if it was 20 mil, to be honest, for what it's going to do. And then what I need to do then, so we'll just face it off, bore it out, 20 mil deep, 21.6 whatever it was in diameter, to fit that in. We'll take a little bit of this off the front, it doesn't need to be that fat. And then this other end, I'll set it on the milling machine, and what's this pipe measure? 41 mil. Pardon me. So we'll have to set the boring head up at, well, I said that was 41, so 20.5 mil, and we'll set it up that way in the milling machine, and we'll come down and we'll cut the radius of this pipe, so that'll fit over there. And what I would like to do then is, obviously this is a bit of off-cut pipe, but it's the same diameter. I'll clean the pipe up and I'm going to glue it on the top. Like I say, it's just a temporary fix. So that'll come out of there like that, and it'll go into the back of my water softener, just in case anything was to happen that it's not supposed to do. Which, just because something's new, in my experience, doesn't mean that it's going to be perfect. So, and I want to ring the company up where the softeners come from, tell them that it's fitted, and they do a service where they send one of their engineers around to check the installation over and make sure you've got it all set properly for your water hardness and that, which you have. I've fitted quite a lot of them over the years. But this will be the first one I've ever fitted for myself, so we'll have it as good as we can. But like I say, this is all just a temporary fix, because later in the year when I do my kitchen, where the water softener's fitted at the moment, it's actually going to end up being, I should say maybe 5 to 6 feet to the left of where it is, in my kitchen cupboard, underneath the sink in the cupboard is where I want to put it eventually. But it could be a few months before I do the kitchen, so I'd like to have the soft water running through everything now, because not only is it nicer to have a shower in, if you don't know anything about water softeners, the salt water softener like I've bought has a big resin block inside it. People seem to think that because you put bags of salt in the softener, it puts salt in the system, but it doesn't. What it does is the water runs through the resin block inside, and it's the resin block that softens the water, takes all the nasty stuff out, you know, your lime scale and all that sort of crap. And then what it does at about 2 o'clock in the morning, only if it needs it, it mixes up its own salt brine in the bottom, and it uses that brine to clean out the resin block inside the water softener. And when it's cleaned it out, that's when it pumps out this all the crap that it's taken out of the resin block. And then that's what happens. So you don't actually get salt in the water, But what it does do, it does put a higher sodium content in the water. I think when I was reading through the book, it said something along the lines of a litre of softened water contains the same amount of sodium as 2 rounds of bread or quarter pint of milk, something like that. So anyway, we'll get this in the lathe, we'll face it off, bore it out, do a bit whatever, and then see where we get to. Right, off we go. So let's bring that out to, there's my little scale gone. Yeah, so we're, what are we from them jaws? Not far off 30 mil. We'll bring that out a little bit before I get my fat hand out of the way. Just so I know I've got enough sort of depth to go where I want. Don't want to put too much pressure on that. I better just give that a bit of a touch up first before we do anything else. Put some power on that. Ooh. Right, I think we'll put the stabiliser on the camera, knock the autofocus off. Bring it in just a little bit. I'm going to take you back a bit actually, so I'll sort this camera out a minute. Right, I'll give that a whirl, shall we? Shall we run that? Machine's cold, so I'm just not going to go mad. Just clean the front up here a bit, I think. Not very often I get to do that with a bit of plastic in it. Yeah, it's not bad. I suppose the other thing is, I'm not going to know till I load this video whether it's getting all blown out now, am I? It's a bit close up. Let's do that again, shall we? That puts us 25 mil in, that should be alright. So there's no set dimensions really for any of this. It's what we got there. It's 50 mil round, so if we make it maybe somewhere around 30. going to be horrible stringy bloody stuff, isn't it? This is going to be fun, isn't it? What if I go a bit faster maybe? Will that make no difference, is it, with the plastic? That's slow. That's 160 thou. Let's see what that does. Yeah, that's a bit better. Go deeper. That's 5 mil. So I wanted that pipe at that hole at about 21.6, didn't I? I reckon that will be enough. I'll just take this bit off. Only just to give it a bit of shape, if you know what I mean. Make it look like I've tried. Plenty big enough there. Right, what we got in the way of a boring barrel? All that going. Yep. I'll have to turn it round now. Pardon me. I've just been to do my shopping a little while ago. It's Sunday now, and I don't know what it's like in the rest of the world, but with the coronavirus doing whatever it's trying to do, in England anyway, they seem to be running out of toilet roll. People are buying that in bulk and paracetamols. So anyway, I managed to get some toilet roll, chap, so I should be alright for another week or so. What's that look like? It seems to be a bit higher, I think. What is it? Right. About 20 mil in, I said, didn't I, when I was thinking about it? Just setting the handle on the carriage dial there. That's 20 mil. Doesn't want much out of it at all, to be honest. Don't even know if that's taken a cut. Let's just check, Anna, just in case it's some tailstocks in the way now. Take the drill chuck out, how's that? Well, and I didn't think that had taken a cut, but it obviously has. I just want it a little bit slacker than that because I'm going to glue it in with some that's some solvent well glue that we use in the plumbing job. But you won't need a little bit of room around the pipe, otherwise it will not take any glue in with it. Is that just rubbing it? See, these have got ridges inside them. But before you get to the ridge, try a little bit more and see. If this doesn't do anything, I'm just going to leave it as it is. I'm taking a bit now. That should be alright. Okay, so I think we will take that out, spin it round, because I don't think that we need all that diameter. So, where's my calipers and a bit of pipe? So the pipe measures, we'll call it 41 mil. That's 50 in it, it's 2 inch didn't I say? So 41 mil, I want it to settle around about there and there. So I think if we machine the outside of that to 45 mil, because when I cut the radius on this, you know, that way or whichever way, I don't want these ends to come down the side of the pipe. I want it to just sit somewhere on the top, so I can double up, make sure the glue's right, and I think that'll be okay anyway. So I'll have to give it a thorough wash as well before I glue it on, because there's bits of oil and that on it, won't it? It's all pushed behind, doesn't it? Knife. I couldn't actually see, if I'm honest, when I got, well, I want that bloody thing, there we go. I couldn't see, if I'm honest, when I got down to the end there, when I was over the edge. You know, that back edge there should be alright now. So I said we wanted somewhere around 45. Not set in stone, so we got to say 49. 4mm off it. Hopefully a bit later this week I might be able to get started on the arbour for the balancing unit. It's not had time at the minute. Brilliant. Right, I think that'll be near enough for what we're doing. I just bought these. I watched a guy do a bit of a review on them. I don't know if it's that button I keep catching, that 0, but you've really got to be looking what you're doing with them. 45.3, that's fair enough for what I want. Where's my other... I don't think we're going to get in there with that. I'm looking for something to try and get. I might do it. It might not. I think to be safe, I think we'll spin it round. Too high. Don't get in there either. I think that'll do it, chaps. Just wipe all the oily bits off it. So I stopped in there, I don't know whether the camera will pick it up, but we've got a little recess in the bottom of there. So that will go into there. So now we need to scallop this end down, don't we? So we'll get on the mill for that one. We'll have to see where we get to with that. So what I've done, I've edge found the back of the vise, and I've come over half the diameter of that, should put us in the middle. I've set my fly cutter pretty much, well, within a few thou of, what was it now, 20.5. I'm just a bit, I've got a little jack in that corner of the vise, but what I'm a bit concerned about is when I start to cut this, it may just push it downwards. So after doing this, it may not work after all that. Let's see if we can touch it off. What's going on there then? Oh, it's just touching. Right, so let's just take a mill off it, shall we, and see what it does. I've got I've got the power feed engaged on the mill, so it may just have to be light cuts. No, that's what I was worried about. It's dug a bloody hole in the end of it now. Right, now you've all finished laughing at me, and if you wasn't, I would have been. Where I was stood, I couldn't see that side. I didn't realise that the fly cutter was hitting the bottom. Let's slow that down a bit. So we'll put the boring head in, and we've pretty much set it by eye. So we'll do the same thing again, only this time we'll sugar. We'll be a little bit more steady with our measurements, I think. Right, hang on, just let me, just going to speed it up slightly. Right, try that, shall we? Now, is it going to push it like it did before? I'm only doing this because I've got to ring the company up who, I maybe said it before, I might be repeating myself. But when their engineer comes out, he's going to want to see that the overflow's connected up. Otherwise, they may not grant the warranty card for the softener. So even though it's going to be, even though it's only a temporary site where it is at the moment, it's still got to be right, if you know what I mean. So hopefully, by the time we get this bit done, we will have removed the previous balls up at the same time. Right. This is going to be a bit of a laborious task, I'm afraid, boys. But it is what it is, isn't it? I'm going to ring them tomorrow while I'm at work and book an engineer's visit to come out. So I really want this done today. Yeah, we'll get a bit further on, see See how it goes. It's a bit slow and laborious, but ideally you'd want a nice big long piece of plastic, wouldn't you? Cut this radius on the end of it straight away, and then you could give it the beams then and cut a hell of a lot faster. But unfortunately that's the only bit of plastic I've got, so so be it. What I've been doing, I've got a short piece of this pipe here, so I've been just doing a bit of a test fit on the front, and I've been just altering the boring head as I've been going down, and just getting the radius right. It seems pretty good, so we'll just keep going until the cut gets to the very edge, and then I'll take it in the house and have a look at where it's going to go. I've been studying while I've been doing this, thinking about the glue, because I don't know whether the normal glue that I would use for the smaller elbow, wherever I put that, oh, it's here. See, this particular pipe and these elbows are designed for solvent glue, solvent weld we call it. But I don't know whether that solvent will react with this or possibly that. So I think what I'm going to do is just put a little cut on while I'm doing that. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to drill a hole in the pipe that it's going on, and then I'm going to pack it with silicone, clear sanitary sealant. That stuff normally sticks to anything, and it's not as bad chemically as the solvent glue is. I just wonder if the solvent glue will react with that, you see. So we'll do it with silicone, and then I'll put a clamp on it, and I'll leave the clamp on until it's gone off. But what I can do, I can just rig it all up first, make sure all my bits of pipe are cut right length, glue all the 20mm stuff, which is that, and put this bit on last, and then just leave it, and it'll just set then. Hopefully we'll be alright. But you never know. I'm thinking, boys, that that's enough. So a bit of a clean up, shall we, and see what we've got. Are we on there? Horrible bloody stuff. Snip that little core off like that. Put our little deburrer in there. Good enough. Can we see that on there? I think we can, can't we? So, I should have actually machined it a little bit narrower, shouldn't I? But, anyway, I think that'll do the job. Right, well, I'll put my boring head and that back away, and then go and get some bits out of the van, a drill, a little core bit, and some glue and stuff, and some silicone, and then we'll get it fitted. Sounds like a plan, doesn't it? Well, I'm a bit handheld now, chaps. I hope you can see what it was I was doing. So that's siliconed on there now. I scraped all the plastic with a sharp blade just to rough it up before we glued it in place. I haven't actually glued those smaller elbows because, like I say, this is going to come out again because it's going to move 4 or 5 feet over to the left. But there's the softener, if we can get it in. There's a little manifold bank and that comes down with it down the side there, look. But all this lot's got to all be ripped out yet. So I'm sorry there's been no sort of, shall we say, normal machine work this week, but you know, unfortunately sometimes it's the same for everybody, and we just get so busy with other things that we can't always do what we want to do. It's been a real busy weekend for me. This particular water softener, I'm going to get back a bit further, go on camera, I actually got a deal on them and I bought 2 of them, and I gave one to my friend Robin, well I say gave to him, he paid me for it, but I've been and fitted that for him over the weekend. I know I put him an outside tap in and a few other bits and bobs that we did, and Robin and his son last night were outside. I mean, they sent me a text message at 25 past 10 last night, which last night was Saturday night, to say my van was done, and they were out there all that time putting a new steering rack on my van and a new wheel sensor on the ABS on the front near side. I hope they understand how much I appreciate what they've done for me, because they put some hours into that the boys have. And his son Russell and his other son Kenton. Russell's a mechanic, and I've been and fetched my van back today. In fact, Robin came to my house this morning, picked me up, took me back to his house, and van drives now like it did when I first bought it in 2010. Sorry, 2006. So thanks to Robin and his lads. Back to work tomorrow, and we'll see how we get on this week as to whether we can get back in the workshop again. Well, all before the weekend anyway, because this coming Saturday, I've promised my father, who's I don't know, how old's my dad? Well, he was born in 1939, so I think he's not far from 80. He's got a big cherry tree in the garden, so my son, who is in the army, in the British Army, he's coming home at the weekend next Friday, and my son and myself are going to go down to my dad's and take the tree down for him. So that might be that I don't get another video out next week, because it might be that I'll be doing that over the weekend, but you've only got one dad, haven't you, so you've got to look after him best you can. Anyway, that'll do. We'll see you next time. Cheers.